russosbrand.com, where the pros are the pros. Bro, I need a Stevie Richards therapy session today.
Let's do it.
And that's what this show is going to be, because, bro, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I would have went to take a steaming dump yesterday, and I would have taken the dump, maybe a 3-4 bowler, Stevie, and when you pull out the toilet paper, okay, you pull out the toilet paper. If there wasn't the toilet paper, there was something there that said Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw. What I'm getting at is, I wouldn't wipe my ass with last night's Monday Night Raw. I wouldn't wipe my ass with it. I am not going to waste 3 seconds of my freaking time talking about it, when the bottom line is, oh, okay, Seth Rollins is going to join the babyface team because Solo Sikoa stood up on a desk. Okay, that's the angle, Stevie. He stood up on a desk, so now I'm going to join the I'm not even going to talk about that. Stevie, help me. Help me. I'm doing a lot of soul searching, Stevie. You and I may be the biggest soul searching. I don't think me and you ever stop soul searching. Am I right? I don't want to speak for Stevie.
Absolutely exhausting.
Okay, yeah. Me and Stevie soul searching is a full-time job. Am I right, Stevie?
Yeah.
Okay. Stevie, I got to be honest with myself. I came to a cold, hard fact yesterday. Bro, I am no different than a list full of people who I absolutely despise. I am doing the same exact thing that Jim Cornette is doing, who I despise. Eric Bischoff is doing, who I despise. Bruce Prichard is doing, who I despise. Michael Hayes is doing, who I despise. Paul Heyman is doing, who I despise. I am doing the same thing that all those people who I despise are doing. Stevie, I'm pushing 64 years old in a couple of months, and I literally am sitting here talking about something I absolutely hate. There is no joy. There is no excitement. Not only that, it sucks. It's horrible. It's an absolute joke that people like you and I have to sit there and freaking watch this. It's an absolute joke. It is nothing but 100% work. That's all it is. There is no enjoyment whatsoever. Bro, I'm no different than Jim Cornette at this point in my life. I came to that cold, hard fact and realization yesterday. And Stevie, I got to look that in the eye and I got to own it, bro. The only difference between me and them, here's the only difference, Stevie. They're still marks for it. They are still marks for it. They still love it. They would still be in a wrestling ring somewhere if they could. And I absolutely despise it, hate it. That is the only difference. As far as job-wise, I'm doing the same exact thing that these guys are doing. Help, Stevie. Help me, Stevie. Help me, Stevie.
Well, I'm here for the man who actually created the Dr. Stevie character, so this is very, very
Thank God,
appropriate.
Steve, there was a reason for that, Stevie.
When you invested all the money and time into the therapy set, you were actually so forward thinking. You said it's going to be like 15 years later. We're going to use this set either virtually or in real life.
Yeah, here it is, Stevie. Help me. I'm Jim Cornette. I'm Eric Bischoff. I'm the same guy, Stevie. Help me.
I swear to God, if I still had the Dr. Stevie lab coat, I would put it on right now. Okay, for everybody listening, watching on the brand, this is literally peeling back the curtain into our day-to-day lives and our conversations. Because I've been pushing for you, Vince, because you're a big sports fan. You never are going to fall out of love with sports, especially your favorite teams, or you never actually have fallen out of love, I should say, with the romance of radio. I said, the intimacy of radio. So taking the video aspect off and just doing a radio show. And that's something that you initially had a 5-year plan back when you were 59 or 60. Believe it or not, we're pushing almost 10 years of doing this with you, myself, and Ben.
Yes.
That's a great accomplishment, but we don't feel like it's an accomplishment because we're not influencing the business in the direction we do. The difference between you and those guys you mentioned, they're still holding out some bastion of hope that they can change the business, which it's way too far gone in one direction, whether good, bad, or indifferent. As far as you, I think it's still started yesterday to try to use this, which you have built up all these skills to maybe take you somewhere else. You and I are believers, and I always believe God puts you in a particular position for as long or as short as you need to be there. In this case, very, very long. And I would say that you need to utilize those skills, that recognition and what you build in your brand to carry you possibly somewhere else. The business is going to be okay with or without us. The business will never die. We can admit that. It will never, ever die. It's way too big, making way too much money. It has the benefit of being a live presentation, a live weekly presentation, which is why everybody seems to be getting overpaid with their TV licensing deals, including AEW. But good for them. So I'm focusing on you.
Stevie, a couple of things off of that I want to talk to you about. And bro, you're going to be proud of me because Stevie, I'm always dabbling here, there, but more revenue streams. I'm just like you, create more revenue streams, blah, 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 blah. Stevie, you will be happy to hear, just so you know, like I'm constantly aware of this. I'm constantly working at this. Okay. I am starting I got turned on to it by Disco and Joe Feeney and Conan. They are on a platform called Believe. I brought it up here a couple of times. I brought it up with you. It's called Believe, BLEAV, like Believe. And I signed up with them, Stevie, and I'm going to be starting every Tuesday and Friday. I'm going to be starting a 30-minute show, and it's called Until My Head Explodes, where wrestling is never brought up. So I'm dipping my foot in the water. But just so you know, Stevie, like, again, man, it's Coach, runs an entire of sports platforms, sports betting. I mean, Coach is really great at sports betting. That's really what he does. So he wanted to get me involved. So we hooked up with Sportskeeda, and we gave him a show that was pretty much half NFL, half wrestling. And, since the season started, we've got what now, 12 weeks or something like that, whatever it is, 10 weeks. Stevie, at the end of the day, they're not coming to us for NFL shit. They're coming to us for wrestling shit. And that's what it always goes back to. Vince Russo, wrestling. So now what's Coach and I going to do? Well, Vince, we might as well make it just a wrestling show. But like I said, I'm putting my toe in the water with Believe to see if I can get something off the ground that literally is like a radio show. Stevie, I got to ask you this question because you and I are similar in a lot of ways. I constantly, for 30 years, I've been asking this question, and I've yet to get an answer. And that's okay. Stevie, do you ever ask God why on earth he put you in this business? I ask God that question every single day. I'm like, man, I am a good human being. I am a good human being. Stevie, there was a time in the wrestling business, I swear, Stevie, where I put in my head, because I was so miserable in it, I'm like, okay, Vince, God put you here for a reason. Maybe there's one individual you're supposed to help out. Whatever it is, you don't know what it is, but have the mindset that he put you here for a reason. And Stevie, I went to work with that mindset, and I still was absolutely miserable and just kept saying, why on your earth did you put me in this spot?
Yeah, little less right now because the Stevie Richards show is kind of my spin and my presentation. I had to take necessary steps to find. That's why a lot of people, including my wife and people I care about, we'll include people like Johnny Swinger and other people that I still speak to, that I'm like, you have to try and fail a lot. Yeah. You have to build some kind of, you got to find out what you can't do and what you shouldn't do and what you don't want to do before you find out what Absolutely. You're supposed to do.
And there's nothing wrong with that, Stevie. Tell everybody.
There's something wrong with not trying. That's the only thing that's wrong. And unfortunately, in this world, and especially the wrestling world, man, they don't want you to try. I get buried every week for putting effort into my show. People get mad. Right. And it's, yeah, I mean, it's what it is. But even with the Stevie Richards show and the presentation, put it this way. All right, let's back up, way, way back up. T4 show, January 2007. As I was still in WWE, I started a tech show, YouTube channel, and a podcast.
Wait, what year is this, Stevie?
2007.
Wow.
January 2007.
Okay, go 17 years ago. Go ahead.
Before the boys had YouTube channels and podcasts and everything.
Absolutely, man.
And it could be monetized. So I was way too early to the game.
Yeah.
So I did that for a few years because I wanted to be something like a Steve Jobs, stand up on stage, use my wrestling promo ability to be able to sell product and market and be passionate about what I'm truly passionate about. Complete failure. The affiliate, I couldn't get any affiliate sales. I couldn't convert. I couldn't do a bunch of things years and years down the line. Finally, in 2016, I started to pivot fully into Stevie Richards Fitness. So I had the YouTube channel switch over. I tried a little bit of podcasting.
Point out to everybody, Stevie, because I want people to get an education by what you're saying. See, guys, this is priceless. What Stevie is saying is priceless. But Stevie, what you did do that was very important was you tried to create something around something you really loved. So It was the tech first, and then it was the fitness. So you did go to your strengths. I know this is what I love. I'm going to try to build something around this, correct?
Yeah, and it hurt a lot because the tech brand was a complete and abject failure from a monetary, financial, and even in a growth standpoint. It started to drop off. People just got tired of it. And I had to try to escape the wrestling part of it, the wrestling bubble, which we're still trying to escape. So that's the thing. That's the thing with anything. So do you low-hanging fruit of wrestling where it's easy for us to talk about it all day long, or do you do the more difficult stuff? Here's the thing, though, with perspective and looking at it, Stevie Richards Fitness, I came out with the resistance band program. I sold one in the first year, and it was to our friend Lisa, who just did it maybe because she felt bad or she wanted to support her friend, whatever it was. One in 1 year. And it's a good program. It still sells today.
Yeah, great program, man.
But let's go to that pivot. From tech to fitness, I learned skills, building websites, editing video, filming, the equipment, the audio, all this stuff that I didn't need to pay anybody to do when I pivoted to the fitness business. So 9 years in the desert of not making money gave me the skills that I'm still making money today, doing all this, everything around you.
This is so, Stevie, I got to stop you. Because this is so great for people to hear. I swear to God, guys, listen, because I know so many of you out there, you have ambition. You might hate what you're doing. You don't know where to start. Please, this is a TED Talk, guys. You literally should be paying $100 for this TED Talk. So, I mean, Stevie, again, I not only just for me, for everybody listening to this show, I thank you because what you're saying is so freaking important. Go ahead, man.
Sure, and I want to put a pin in each point because all along the way, even up until this morning before we're recording, I get at least one message, email, whatever it might be from a fan or even people I might know that put it in a friendlier way. But I get messages from fans all the time saying, because I lost fake wrestling matches, I should commit suicide. I should kill myself because I'm worthless. I'm a jobber. I'm this. I'll never be in shape like Chris Jericho and all these other people. I get that all the time. So everybody gets these people that want to drag you back down into the boiling pot with the rest of the frogs or the crabs or whatever. You have to ignore that and push through, or be, like I said, I'll show you, you'll see, is a spiteful way of pushing forward. and being motivation, no matter where it comes from, positive or negative, you got to use it whatever you can. So the fitness business, the band programs still weren't paying the bills. My wife, such an angel, you've seen her and everything. My wife turned around and said, have you ever tried to do home gym equipment, garage gym equipment reviews or whatever? And I go, yeah, but we don't have the room. She goes, turn the entire apartment into a gym.
I see.
And the business took off.
Yeah.
So you definitely need somebody that's going to support your crazy dreams, because like Steve Jobs famously said about the crazy ones, you got to be a little bit crazy to keep pushing forward.